Well, good morning. Randy T-Bird out here in sunny Arizona, February 21st, Sunday morning. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. Not as warm as it was yesterday. Yesterday was in the 70s, and I apologize to you folks dealing with the cold wave. But this is Arizona, so we have to deal with massive heat in the summer. So hope it gets warmer for you guys back there so you can get out on your bikes. I imagine there's a lot of snow melt stuff going on, but it'll all be back around soon. Well, just out for a ride this morning. Got a lot of things to do today, so it's not going to be a real long ride. But I'm recording on the Hero 8 today. Haven't used it in a while. I think the video is awesome on the Hero 8. The stabilization is great. My 7 is my workhorse, but I'm going to use this one today. So this will be the first video recorded on the Street Bob on the Hero 8. So put that out of the way. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was the differences between the Heritage and the Street Bob. As y'all know, I had the Heritage, and awesome bike, great bike. Whoever gets it, whoever buys it, is going to be a happy camper. It's a great, awesome bike. One of the first things you notice on the Street Bob in comparison to the Heritage is that it feels so much smaller. Some people say, well, you know, it's almost like a Sportster. Well, it's not that small, but it's definitely less bulk. I think a lot of that has to do with the gas tank and obviously the lack of a fairing or a windshield. It has a 19-inch front wheel on the Street Bob, so that is a different feel to it. Another thing you notice is the suspension is stiffer, where the Heritage is kind of like riding on a cloud, for lack of a better description. It's just very smooth, soaks up the bumps, very comfortable, you know, great bike for a long distance ride, and it just sucks up the imperfections that the Phoenix freeways and the highways around here have. I know the freeways, the 202 especially, can be a very rough ride. I have noticed the difference. I had cranked up the preload on the shocks, and that was kind of beating me up the other night when it was cold out, and I was coming back from a Friday night obligation, and so I backed off the spring preload on the shock one notch, so it's some of the suppleness is back to the ride, but it is stiff, and it feels let's call it tight. You know, that's a feel that I like on my bikes. When I had my Dynas, I always set them up stiff, had aftermarket shocks and fork kit, and they were set up firm. So when you hit a square edge bump, you definitely feel it. But, you know, on most bikes you do, it doesn't matter. There's a particular stretch of road as you go over the Salt River Bridge on Highway 87. That's got a hell of a square edge bump, and it gets me every time. But I'm not the only one. My Motorrad was, he noticed the bump in my video. He lives out that way, and he hits that one all the time too, is on his commute. So what else? The handling feels quicker on the Street Bob. Now, I don't know if it's because of the lack of weight or the less weight, because it's probably 100 pounds lighter with all the mods and everything that I made, and you feel that. And also when you get into the handling, I think the mid controls allow you to steer more with your body, with your hips when you're riding, and it gives you more feel of control and quick steering than you do with having your feet out in front of you with forward controls and the floorboards like the like the Heritage had. Now, conversely, they're very comfortable for highway. I prefer mids, around town especially, and on curvy roads, because it does give you that advantage to steer. I mean, you don't really have to throw a whole lot of shoulder into it. It's just definitely quick handling. Now, I know sport bike people will say you don't know what quick handling is. Well, I have owned sport bikes, and I do know. But I'll keep it in the relative vein here. It is a Harley Davidson, and what is quick handling for Harley Davidson is truckishly slow for a sport bike. So that's understood. I know that. We all know that. So not looking to compare it to an R1 Yamaha or a Ducati. So anyway, it works for me. Remember, I mentioned last week the transmission shifts amazingly well on this bike. I have no idea why, if they've done a little work to the tolerances or whatever, but it really shifts nice and quietly too. So as far as wind protection goes, on this bike there is none. So you feel the wind blast, and that doesn't really bother me too much, although I do have the plans to put a quarter fairing on it, kind of a club style type thing. Memphis Shades has been my preferred choice over time. I had those on my Dynas, and they worked really well. It's amazing how that small piece of plastic can knock a hole in the airstream, but it takes it easy, and if you're older like me, it does kind of wear you down after a while, the wind blast. So, you know, it is what it is. I do like the feel sometimes of a naked bike, and that the Memphis Shades fairing have what they call a trigger lock system on it that allows you to detach it without any kind of drama. It's kind of like the Harley detachable things. It works really well once you get it all lined up. When you put those together, they do take some fiddling to get everything right to where it just snaps together versus you having to wrestle it. But Memphis Shades makes good product. Seating. The seating on the Heritage had more options for bigger, heavier seats, or wider seats, bigger seats that fit well with the styling of the bike. A bigger seat on this bike would look ridiculous. Probably change this seat out. This is a Harley Sundowner seat that I had on the Heritage that I kept when I traded it in, because I looked up the part number and it was able to be used on the Street Bob as well, and it bolted right on. The stock seats that came with it, while very good looking, is just not good for very long at all. It's very sparse, very thin. So I mean, riding it around town, no problem, but you get, I mean, more than just 20 minutes or so, and it gets hard as a rock, and it's kind of restrictive. It kind of pushes you into one position. So, but it sure looks good. So it's nothing like choppers and seats that I ran back in the 70s and 80s that were like an upholstered plank. Beautiful day out. Anyway, I thought I'd throw out a comparison there between the two bikes. I also had a Slim several years ago, and a Slim had kind of a feel in between the Heritage and the Street Bob. The Slim had 16-inch wheels, and so it was a little bit slow handling as the big wheels are, but it was kind of had the same ride feel that the Street Bob has, and of course it didn't have mini apes or anything. It had what they call Hollywood bars, which are kind of like a, I don't know, it's a kind of a, some people call it a narrow beach bar. I thought it was more like a flat track bend bar, and it was cool for the time. I had to put risers on my Slim because it was just a little too low and too stretched out for me. And of course the Slim had footboards as well, so your feet were out in front of you. So again, I think that just lends to the hot rod feel of the Heritage, just having the mids. I don't know if you guys been out to the dealers and checked out the new offerings by Harley. I guess the biggest changes to me, other than the Street Bob being really pumped up with the 114, is that they've got some amazing paint. I mean, just, you got to see it. I mean, the website does it absolutely no I don't know what the word I'm searching for here. There's no justice to what the website shows you. You've got to see the paint in the metal, because it's awesome. There's a color that they're making. It's called Deadwood Green, and I'm not a green fan that much, but what a great looking color that is. I think they're going to sell some of those. Even the white looks good, but there's a billiard blue that is awesome, and then there's another billiard green, I guess they call it. That's very cool. So there's a lot of cool things going on. A lot of new bikes being released. I guess Triumph tomorrow is releasing their 21 Bonneville line. Kind of interesting to see what they're going to do with that. I have this love for Triumphs that never completely goes away. I've had several. Anyway, a little chilly this morning. It's only about 9:30, and we had a cold front blow through last night, a real brief one, so temperature is going to be about 10 degrees cooler today than it was yesterday. Not a cloud in the sky. It looks like we never heard of rain. Anyway, I'm just out for a ride, enjoying the day. Got a bunch of things to do today. It's the boy's birthday. Later today we're gonna celebrate, so but my wife is gracious enough to tell me get out and go for a ride. So, you know, we're doing that. So after doing a bunch of stuff at the house yesterday and repairs and cleanup, it feels good to get out. Anyway, this is Randy T-Bird out here in sunny Arizona. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Welcome to the subscribers that have come to me in the last couple weeks. I picked up about 20 subscribers, so I'm over 350 now. So we're making progress, and always enjoy hearing from you folks, so feel free to comment. Anyways, Randy T-Bird out in Arizona. I'm out.